they actually know each other quite well, and that's the reason why we don't have a curator for this show per se, because they have all internally coordinated within themselves. So
sorry, they curated the show themselves? Actually?
Yeah, amongst
okay.
the artists.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys a little background of the show, it's called The Imperfect Circle because earlier this year during the open studio, each year in January they have an open studio visit in Fieldtrip, and during that time they hosted a small-scale exhibition called The Perfect Circle, and in Chinese it's called 重受就好 So the exhibition is actually different in Chinese and English, but since they used The Perfect Circle as the English title, they figured they would continue that here. So now it's called The Imperfect Circle. It's called the end of the carousel. So basically what it's trying to say, in the book it says, the carousel is spinning at a set rate and on the same set course, and it's not going anywhere, it's going in a circle. So maybe for her it's just like how barren it is or futile it is for, how barren the human condition is of life itself. It's like you can go in circles but you're not actually going anywhere. So just now when I turn it on for you guys, you can see that the black one is actually going counterclockwise. So it's like you can go back, you can go forward, but either way it's just you're stuck in this circle. So for her it's kind of like there's like a darker tone to the piece. And then you will notice that most of her work, like her other works too, she is prone to using pre-made, like ready-made objects. So you can see the whole section, cross-section is all composed of things that she can just get, and then without further modifications, they're just being shown like this, except for the thing being painted in black and gray, and then even the two lamps, which are supposed to represent the moons, they're just bought from the store. So it's a really nice idea because art isn't really about fabrication anymore in the world, in this postmodern society. So sometimes ready-made objects can have as much power as something that's fabricated by hand. So I think that's one of the great things about her oeuvre, per se. An artist called Bell, and then she is primarily a painter. Okay, and during May earlier this year, she started painting the period, the full stop. And then in this exhibition, because in Chinese the word circle actually is was a homophone to, like, it sounds the same as the word to finish. So to her it's really like a combination of both meanings, the circle and also the verb to finish something. And then to her idea of painting the period comes from the fact that this symbol is supposed to represent an ending, but then when she repetitively paints it, it's like her way to demystify or like to neutralize the power of the end. So to her it's like a continuation, like when you do something that is supposed to mean to signify an ending over and over again, then does it really end? So that's her idea of painting the circle, of painting the period. She has never worked with digital media before. And in this 36 images, it's she has extracted some the end scenes from movies and then cropped it and put a vignette over it. So like when you watch a movie, like especially old movies, when it's towards the end, it always zooms into darkness, like the vignette goes into it, and then that's like the moment that's right before it completely ends. So and also it's in the shape of a circle. So to her, it's like the embodiment of both, meaning like to finish something and also the circular shape. And you can see there are multiple vignettes on each one, and then it's supposed to represent perhaps the two people watching the same movie, but then coming to a different conclusion.
You don't know which circle to look at, so you're always looking at two things at the same time. So you're not stable. You sort of lose your balance.
Right. I think the shape itself is kind of like that because it's when you have so many circles in the same space, it's like the circle itself is like a focal point. So when you have so many of them, it's like you easily lose yourself. I think that's also
maybe when you start hallucinating, one circle becomes two circles, something like that.
These are like